Okay, so the Eagles just got a surprising development ahead of their season finale against the Giants, as we have a new report suggesting that Nick Sirianni's job still isn't necessarily safe, depending on how things go in the playoffs. But is there any truth to this, or is it all just speculation? Meanwhile, Pro Bowl linebacker Zack Baun gave an update on his future, as with him set to hit free agency in the offseason, he made it clear that Philly is the place that he wants to be. Plus, Saquon Barkley just trolled the Giants, but we got a positive update regarding injured linebacker Nakobe Dean, and what can we expect from McKee and the Eagles backups against the Giants? Well, we're going to talk about that and all the other news leading into the Birds' regular season finale starting right now. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Philly Fan 21 channel. If you're new, I'm Evan and I cover all things Philadelphia Eagles, and we are just a couple days away from the Birds' season finale against the New York Giants. Now, of course, some of the air has been taken out of the matchup as neither team is really playing for anything at this point, and the Eagles are obviously going to be resting their starters, including Saquon Barkley, who of course had the chance to go for the single season rushing record if he did play. But while it is unfortunate that we won't get to see Barkley get the ultimate revenge on his former team by breaking the record on Sunday, he did at least get the chance to troll them, and specifically Giants owner John Mara, a little bit in his latest Instagram ad for Unisum.
I heard some of you were having trouble sleeping, so I wrote you a lullaby. Rockabye baby, awaken your bed, as the thought of 2000 swirls in your head. It sure is tough to lose sleep over football. Not for me though. Good night to you all.
Now, this is in all likelihood a reference to Giants owner John Mara's comments on Hard Knocks when he said that if Saquon went to the Eagles, he was going to have a hard time sleeping. So, I don't know about you guys, but I just find this ad so freaking funny, and I just love that even though Barkley isn't playing this week, he still managed to absolutely cook the Giants. And honestly, even though again he's not going to break the record, New York still probably could not feel any worse about their decision to let him go, as Barkley literally joined arguably the Giants' biggest rival and immediately had a historic season, as he obviously just passed the 2,000 yards rushing mark last week, making him just the 9th player in NFL history to pull that off. And if you look at his numbers side by side compared with the record holder Eric Dickerson, you can actually see that Barkley had 34 less carries than ED, and his yards per carry average was higher. So I think it's a pretty safe bet that if Saquon did get those 34 more carries, he would have safely broken the record. But all that said, obviously the numbers and the history and the records are nice, but it's a much bigger goal that Saquon has his sights set on, and he seemed to allude to that immediately after passing 2,000 yards rushing in this mic'd up clip.
Hey man, witness some greatness. It's a common theme though. See what I'm saying? It's a lot easier when you got like y'all out here. What's that? We ain't running the ball and jumping over the line. That's you. That time. She was cute enough, but now it's time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to assume that Barkley is talking about winning a Super Bowl there, and it's just got to be surreal for him that he's even in this position to go contend for a ring after all those years losing with the Giants. And someone else that this surely feels surreal for is another former New Yorker in Mekhi Becton, as the tackle-turned-guard obviously has spent his whole career with the Jets up to this point, so in addition to losing 2 years of his career due to injuries, when he has played, he obviously has not had much success in the winning department. I mean, he's never been to the playoffs, he's never won the division, and he's certainly never been in a position to where he can compete for a Super Bowl, so safe to say that this opportunity that he has now with the Eagles means a lot to him. And you could clearly see that in this emotional moment that he shared with his teammates on the sideline during the Eagles division clinching win last week.
Hey man, this first time making the playoffs.
Hey, you listen to me, mother.
Oh, this is crazy.
You look at me. I love you. We're gonna do some good shit for it, baby.
Oh, this is crazy.
You said the
Don't let Coach Stout see you.
They'll ruin the moment. Hey, guess what? They'll ruin the moment. Hey, you just won your first division championship.
Get away from us.
Everybody give him a hug.
Get away from
Everybody give him a hug.
This is crazy, bro. This is crazy.
Man, you just gotta absolutely love that. I mean, what a cool moment to see for a guy who has been through a lot to get to this point, and he absolutely 100% deserves it. And another guy who deserves 100% of the success that he's gotten recently is linebacker Zack Baun. As like Becton, this is a guy who was pretty much disregarded by his former organization and was forced to sign a one-year prove-it deal with Philly, and safe to say, that has paid off in more ways than one, as not only has Baun put up historic numbers in his first year in Philly, but he also just earned his first ever Pro Bowl selection, which is just crazy if you consider where the expectations were for Baun when he signed his contract, as he himself didn't even expect to be playing at this level or to make the Pro Bowl. So with that in mind, he's obviously incredibly grateful for this honor.
Yeah, I did. Obviously a huge honor, something that you think about, and honestly something that was in my contract when I signed here, and I just kind of like laughed at the fact that that incentive was in my contract, because I didn't think that was necessarily a goal of mine. Obviously, it's a goal of mine, but I didn't think I could reach it at this point in my career. But to be able to be voted by fans, players around the league, and coaches, it really means a lot to me and a lot to the guys on this defense. It just shows that what this defense is and the type of guys we have.
Man, just shout out to Zack Baun for all he's been able to do this year, and there's absolutely no denying that as a result, he's going to get paid this offseason, and I think all Eagles fans can agree that Howie Roseman needs to find a way to get a deal done to keep Baun in Philly for many years, and judging by some recent comments, it seems like Baun is hoping for that too.
I know it's a big picture question, but is it as simple as, like, you love it here, you're playing great football, and you want to come back next season if it all works out?
Yeah, I mean, if it all works out, and obviously that's things that are out of my control and in the hands of people above me, but I love it here. I love the guys in this locker room. I love the organization. I hope it all works out.
You heard the man there, he wants to be here. So now it's just going to be all about getting a deal done that works for both sides. And I say, you gotta pay this man what he deserves, because the impact he's had on this defense is insane, and the Birds just cannot afford to lose him, especially with all the lackluster play we've seen at the linebacker position over the years. So I mean, now that we finally have a star, we just gotta find a way to keep him around. Luckily for the Birds though, it's not just Baun that has grown into a star at that position, as his counterpart has also become a really good player too. And of course, I'm talking about the third-year man Nakobe Dean, who again has really just come into his own and broken out in his first full year starting. As in 15 games played, Dean has 128 total tackles, 80 of which are solo, along with 3.5 sacks, a forced fumble, 2 fumble recoveries, and an interception. So that's clear evidence that Dean has improved drastically since being drafted back in 2022, and Zack Baun seems to think that Nakobe is only going to continue to get better, and one day he could be a Pro Bowler as well.
You've had a year next to Nakobe. Could you see him, as he goes on in the league, getting this honor in a year or two?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I thought he could have possibly gotten it this year. I mean, the way that guy's been playing this year, and the way he's gotten better over the season is incredible, and I'm really excited for his future.
I gotta agree with Baun there, because Nakobe has really impressed me this year, and again, I definitely think he's only going to continue to get better. And in regards to Dean, we actually did just get some really good news on him recently. So don't worry, we're going to get into that and so much more in just a minute, but real quick, I do want to say, if you are enjoying this video and you don't want to miss any other Eagles coverage or content just like this coming throughout the Birds' entire playoff run and also moving forward after that, then make sure you subscribe, and also really importantly, turn on notifications so you are notified instantly when one of these videos is uploaded. Trust me, you guys are not going to want to miss any of the Eagles coverage or content I got coming on this channel. I cover the Birds pretty much daily here, so if you want to stay up to date on all the latest Eagles news, this is the spot. So again, subscribe and turn on notifications, and also drop a like. Let's see if we can get to 600 likes on today's video. And now, with all that being said, let's get back into the video. So after missing last week's game against the Cowboys with an abdomen injury, Nakobe Dean thankfully has been at practice this week leading into the season finale against the Giants, and he was back as a full participant on Thursday, so it certainly seems like he's getting healthy at the right time, and even if he is one of the starters that rests on Sunday and doesn't play, he should 100% be ready to go for the playoffs. And obviously, Dean is a huge part of this defense. He's been a great player, like I just said, and getting him back out there is going to be really important. So again, this is definitely great news. And the same kind of goes for the rest of the injury report as well, excluding the fact that tight end Siju Uzama was just placed on IR this week, meaning that the depth at the tight end position has taken a hit. But as for the other guys, while tons of them were out or limited on Thursday, all of them were pretty much just being rested, as I'm sure you could expect with the starters not playing Sunday. And then the only real question mark is at the quarterback position, as Jalen Hurts currently is still in concussion protocol, and as of the recording of this video, has not been back at practice yet. And then Kenny Pickett also has not practiced this week while dealing with those broken ribs. So that leaves the Eagles with just Tanner McKee and Ian Book at quarterback, and it's looking more and more like this game against the Giants on Sunday is going to be McKee's time to shine. As with the injury to Pickett, McKee will likely start the game and possibly play all the way through. So it'll be exciting to see what he's able to do in this opportunity, and if you ask him, he's very confident in his ability to step in and operate the offense at a high level.
I feel like I am going to get a little bit more reps this week, which is great with the guys that are going to play. And so, I'll be ready. Where the expectation is to win the game, to move the ball, to put points on the board. And so that's what we're going to do.
You gotta love the confidence from McKee there. And again, I'm excited to see what he can do in a full game sample size. And who knows, maybe he can get the win in the Birds matchup with the Giants. And in regards to this matchup, it's honestly kind of hard to preview it normally with the Birds not playing their starters and Drew Lock somehow lighting it up and putting up 45 points last week. But all I know is it's the Eagles and the Giants, which always winds up being a fun matchup. And I've got some confidence in a lot of the young guys that the Birds have that are going to be playing in this one, as well as of course the Birds coaching staff. So I very well think they could still win this game depending on how things go. And you already know that I cannot pick against them anyway, so I'm going to take the Eagles to win a close one at home by a score of 21-16. That being said, the outcome of this game obviously doesn't matter when looking ahead to the playoffs, as that's when things are really going to start to heat up. And actually, a new recent report suggests that things could heat up quickly for head coach Nick Sirianni depending on how things go in the first round. As in a somewhat surprising development after all the success that the Eagles have had this year, Jeremy Fowler of ESPN just reported that people around the league have speculated that Nick Sirianni could still be in trouble if things go bad for the Eagles in the first round. As he said, quote, Nick Sirianni has quieted the preseason noise with the Eagles' 13-3 season. Would a first-round playoff exit reignite talks about his job status? It's hard to say, but it's a question some people around the league are wondering. Sirianni's 47-20 record is impressive, yet his standing was a talking point coming off a tumultuous 2023 campaign, and he doesn't have a contract extension in place. The sideline and on-field spats are sort of hard to ignore. Any firing here would be a sizable upset, but if we're talking surprises, this would be one to list because his status was a regular debate 4 months ago. Now personally, this feels like mostly speculation to me just based on how Fowler worded it, and even if it's not all speculation, I'm certainly not expecting the Eagles to lose in the first round of the playoffs, fingers crossed. So I don't know about you, but I think Nick is going to be just fine. Now if the Eagles actually did lose in the first round and Nick was at fault, then I could understand maybe a little speculation about his job status, but I honestly feel like with what he's been able to do this year, he's earned some security. But again, let's just hope that the Eagles don't even find themselves in that situation, and we're just going to have to wait until the playoffs to see how it all plays out. And you guys already know that I'm going to be continuing to cover everything regarding this team throughout their entire playoff run. So again, if you guys don't want to miss any of that, then make sure you subscribe, and also again, really importantly, turn on notifications. And also again, make sure you drop a like to show some support if you did enjoy this video, because it really does help me out a ton. Again, let's see if we can get to 600 likes today. And also leave a comment down below. What are your score predictions for this game this week against the New York Giants? And also, if you want to watch another Eagles video going over some stuff from earlier in the week, you can check this out right here. And now with all that being said, that's pretty much all I got for this one, guys. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.